We are delighted to be here today for the interactive session with Master Delpe on harmonizing power, love and light in women. May we start today's proceeding by asking Malvika Rai, our president, to give her welcome remarks.
A very good afternoon to everyone. Before we start the program, I just want to bring in some housekeeping points. Please keep your phones on silent. Our future programs, which we are going to have in this month, is on the 13th, which we are having a walkthrough at the airport, T3, and a luncheon talk with Mr. G.M. Rao. Then we have a talk on relationships on 22nd by Santosh Babu. And 12th of August, we have a program on myth or reality with Dr. Ashok Seth and his panel of doctors. I am sure you've been all getting my mails on attendance is through registration. I'm very happy many of you have started registering, and because that helps us to plan the program better, nothing else. That is one of the reasons. So we do send out 2 mailers out, and we send 2 SMSs. SMSs are for reminders, and emails is for you to register. And finally, I would really request everybody to clear your dues, because some of them are very long pending ones. So please do that. Okay, so we start today's Master Delpe. Members on the dais, friends, good afternoon. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the interactive session with Master Delpe, a well-renowned life mentor and modern sage who integrates a unique blend of Eastern wisdom philosophies with Western science, technology, and practicality. An international expert in maximizing performance, Master Delpe is a visionary educator and author of 6 books and many CDs and DVDs for self-mastery. He is a master in martial arts, 12 styles of meditation, and 8 types of yoga. So I just requested him that maybe towards the end, give us little knowledge on all the 3 areas. He is the founder and president of Be Life University, MDP TV, MDP Foundation, a non-profit organization. During the last 2 decades, he has trained more than 175,000 people in his travels to 90+ countries. Just a little bit more I just came to know about him is that he says, I have some past life, some roots, connections in India. And then finally I told him that, okay, you're married? He said, yes. I said, who's your wife? He said, an Indian. Master, I'm privileged to welcome you. Our members would be honored to hear your views and obtain a unique perspective on the emerging role of women as global leaders and how they can make the best use of their power of the head and heart, a combination of love, courage, and determination to be successful in their lives. With this, I now leave the floor open to Master Delpe. Thank you.
Good afternoon to our President Malvika, to Anju, to all the executive officers and past officers, ladies, ma'ams, and a few gentlemen. It's an honor to be here to speak to you about you, harmonizing your power, your love, and your light. And I'd like to talk about this as practical as possible so that we will go home more enlightened with some tools of life that can help us not only excel in our career as householders, but as professional women and as officers of different organizations, as emerging leaders of India, and as a global citizen. So I'd like to open up by asking, what specific concerns would you like me to include in the talk? Because I have a message for you as a speaker, but I think I should get first what you need before I talk about what I know. And I had studied with our ladies and our officers earlier, asking them about what are the priorities of this lecture. So I'd like to open to the group, what are your priorities in this lecture, so I can include them and synthesize them, so that you will take home something more valuable than maybe what I think. So let's start with, yes. Managing work stress. Okay, that's a prevalent needs globally, not only for women, but for men as well. So I will talk about not only how to manage stress, but how to be stress tolerant. Because I don't think you will be able to eliminate stress forever, but you can improve your tolerance against stress and fatigue. All right, anything else? How to manage anger. You can use your teeth to bite people. You can use the gun. Or you can be like Mahatma Gandhi, you can have ahimsa. You can be, but I will talk about how to balance your energy so that they will not make you as a victim. Because sometimes there are victim personalities by profile. A lot of people have victim profiles, so they victimize you because they think that you are a victim. So how would you solve that so you do not engage in a fight, but you stop the fight before you start? By perception. All right? Any other concerns? Yes. Accept people as they are, like your mother-in-law. Yes. When you're married, you accept, because you will not change your mother-in-law. Well, accept people as they are. Everything in life is about perception. But you have to understand that people are moving targets. People change. You cannot lock them in the same place that you found them. In 1 year, 2 years, you change and they change. So once you have that principle that people are moving targets, therefore relationships and expectations are moving targets. So we can talk a little bit about perception. All right, any other? How can you become? How to become thicker, like the politicians? How to increase your Shiva energy so you have more power to tolerate fear or anxiety. I'll talk about how to balance your power, your love, and your light so that you will be able to perceive things with the power to say no when you need to say no, and also yes when you mean yes. So I will talk about that technique. Anybody else? Yes. How to make your best, how to create your best potential and maximize your output, or in terms of career, money, relationship, spirituality, health, self-esteem. Okay, how to empower yourself, not only to have self-confidence, but self-esteem and self-worth, which is not just self-confidence, but self-value. All right, anybody else here? This group? How to stay motivated? You mean to say after marriage? Well, that's a big book. How to stay motivated at work or at family levels? Work. Both. Or how to motivate your husband or yourself? Both. Okay. We can learn by having fun, right? Because all your questions are very serious questions, so otherwise we will go home crying rather than smiling. So I'll make the discussion a little bit more fun, and it's easy to learn when you have fun. and a little bit more educational, not just, it's not a sermon, it's an educational experience. From this group, anything special? How to improve decision making and clarify your mind to make a better decision? How to use your heart and mind, and how to talk with your wallet also? All right. I wish I can walk and talk. They have a microphone. Because I cannot demonstrate to you when I'm hiding here. You cannot see my hand gestures. I hate podiums. See, I was a Toastmaster for a long time, and we always speak from here, and then you have to move out and come back here. But today, if you will allow me to demonstrate something, I need to get out from here so you can see me. So I would request a microphone. Right. Okay, any other matter that you want to include? Yes, ma'am. How to? How to forget and let go of the past? You can have either amnesia or Alzheimer's. So if you want to forget the past, I think you can forgive sometimes, but it's not easy to forget. So you need to heal the heart and heal the mind, not only one of them. I can teach you one technique today and how to release your traumas, your, I would say, pent-up emotions, so that you do not carry to your grave. Because it's not good to carry all this, because you will meet your tormentors again in next life. So the tormentor becomes the tormentee next life, as some people happen in your karmic relationships. Yes, from the back. Yeah. So you meant to maintain your love, but people take you for granted? How do you balance your character and your reputation? Because what are the difference of that? Character is who you are. Reputation is what people think about you. And sometimes it doesn't match. Because you are honest inside, but they think that you are a bad person, right? And it frustrates you because you're doing your best to help others, and yet they're betraying you because they think you are a negative person. So yeah, it's frustrating, especially in India. Because in India, one of your missions sometimes is to please everyone, especially from in-laws to friends. And yet, they always say, I like your food, but it needs more salt. There's always the buts and ifs. Okay, we'll talk about perception later on and how to manage perception and expectations. We have a lot of topics today, right? I think you need 2 more years to study with me, with all the questions, because I have many techniques. The thing is, we have a limited time to talk about them. So I would like to leave practical tools, maybe 3 of them, so that you can take home something that you can use every day rather than a theory. So I can talk about theories, but I think it's better to have some practical life tools. What do you want, theory or tools? Okay. As Benjamin Franklin said, well done is better than well said. So let's do something rather than saying it. And I'm waiting for the microphone. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the topic, harmonizing power, love, and light in women. And that answers a lot of questions that you have brought today. And it is even a philosophy that is very close to your heart in religion, in yoga, and also in metaphysical concepts. How many heard about the Trinity of God, Shiva, Brahma, and Vishnu? Okay, good. So I will use the concept because most of us here believe in the Trinity of divinity, right? That God is made of 3 kinds of personifications. God the omnipotent, the destroyer, which is qualified as Shiva or Mahesh, right? Power, destroyer. And we have also Vishnu, which is love and devotion, the preserver, correct? And we have Brahma, which is the creator. Now that is you. So we are all gods in the making. When you will associate the quality of divinity in those Trinity, your mind is connected to the Brahma aspect, the creativity, the innovation, the thinking components. Your love, your feelings is connected to the Vishnu aspect, the devotion, the love, the feelings aspect, right? And the prana, the energy, vitality, your ability to move things is connected to power, the Shiva aspect. So you are made of the Trinity. In Christianity, so for those who are Christians here, we have God the Father, God the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The God the Father is the divine destroyer, power, the power of God, the omnipotent, almighty. We have God the Son, which is the love aspect, Vishnu, which is Christ. And we have the Holy Spirit, which is creative intelligence. Now in metaphysical philosophy, we have the nature of willpower, we have the nature of love and wisdom, and we have the nature of creative intelligence, which is the mind. If you look at yourself, we are made into the likeness and image of divinity, or the macrocosm, called God or cosmos or universe. Many organizations can be classified as the Trinity. I'll explain to you later on how even to evaluate and profile your corporations, your competitors, your children, your husband, your country, and many components of your profession. And this is one philosophy which is so deep to me that it elaborates and explains and enlightens many facets of life that are not explainable, including your stress tolerance, your fears, your anxieties, your resentments. They are related to the Trinity, and I'll tell you why. Okay, let's first analyze the quality of the Trinity by iconic examples. What example can you bring when you talk about loving people? Like, look at any person, icon in history who embodies love. Mother Teresa, right? Okay, and Dalai Lama, and all the loving kind of social workers, saints. So they use the love aspect as a path, bhakti yoga, the path to divinity using the heart and devotion, right? Okay. Now, what about the Brahma component, the path of mind? Can you give me an example of people who are exemplifications of the mind's intelligence? Huh? Steve Jobs, we have Einstein, we have Sir Isaac Newton, and a lot of scientists, right? The doctors, the scientists, the engineers, the ITs, and many, many people who are dealing with the mind as a tool for intelligence and the path. They are under the path of Gyan Yoga, yoga of the mind. They are not devotional, but their devotion is towards the goodwill and the will to good through inventions, science, discoveries, and your cell phones. It is light, electricity, your planes. They belong also to the karma yoga, the yoga of service. Can you imagine if you don't have a car to come here? You will be walking, right? Hopefully you'll reach here in 2 days. If you don't have knee replacements. All right. Thank you. Hello? You will be... Hello, hello? Hello? Okay. So it's very important to appreciate people who bring this technology, because it will empower us to be able to give a better lecture. So even those who had consumed a lot of their lives inventing the electricity, this microphone, the sound system, is under a path called Gyan Yoga and Karma Yoga. They are not devotional people towards a saint or a guru, but they are devotional to their mission called science, knowledge, technology. So they are under the Brahma path, the mind path. And mind you, a lot of children today are not devotional children. That's why you have to force them to go to the temples. You have to force them to go for prayers, because they are not devotional children. They are scientific, technical, and they are very more into the knowledge path. Have you observed a lot of children today? You are not the same as them, or they are not the same as when you were young. When you were young, you forced yourself to go with your mother to the temple, right? Please include me, I want to go with you. Now the children, you have to drag them to go to worship the saints and gurus. Meaning to say, generations can also shift from bhakti generation to mental generation, scientific generations. Hello? Tika ji? Tika? Hello? 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 Make it louder. Hello? Hello? Can you increase the volume? Hello? Hello? Thank you. Now, can you give me an example of a person that has more Shiva energy? Power. Power? Huh? Sonia Gandhi? Well, Hitler, George Bush, Napoleon Bonaparte, Alexander the Great, Saddam Hussein. Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Yeah. You can, hello? Yeah. You can mention about, who is the counterpart of Mahatma Gandhi? Sebastian Bose? Mahatma Gandhi was more of the love nature. Sebastian Bose was more on the military power, right? Two kinds of leaders. Now they have their own jurisdiction of utilization of their gifts. All right, now why do I talk about these things? Because if you understand the psychology of the Trinity, you will be able to understand yourself. You will be able to profile other people, your children, your boss, your spouse, even other people who are involved in your life. And let me give you an example why this is so important. If you look at like the Hindu philosophy, I told you that Shiva energy connects to the destroyer aspect, the will and the power, Vishnu and Brahma. In Christianity, we have omnipotent God, all-merciful, and the omniscient. And metaphysical, we have willpower, we have the love and wisdom, and we have the creative intelligence. Now, let's give an application to this kind of knowledge. It's a psychology. At the same time, it is a tool. If you understand this psychology, you'll be able to manage people without effort. You'll be able to understand yourself. The old adage of the Greek philosophers, man, know thyself. Or to know God or to know the universe, you have to understand yourself. That is a very important action that we need to understand to profile yourself. So at the end, I want you to grade yourself, who you are, by looking at the Trinity. Let's give an example. Women are noted, especially in India, because of their love nature. Right? To be a mother or to be a sister, they expect you to be the loving, sweet caretaker of many things in the house, right? Correct? Yes. That is their default.
So for heavy loads, they do not ask you to carry heavy loads. It's the man's job sometimes to do the more aggressive jobs, because they think that you are weaker in terms of those Shiva energy, the strength. So the default is that you are assumed to be first a love nature being, before they consider you to be intelligent or to be powerful. Now in Germany, women wants to be as powerful as the men Germans. So now they're building their muscles. Since they have big bones, sometimes they look stronger than some of the Indian men. Have you seen that, German women? Wow. They can carry an Indian man easily. And American women now are into bodybuilding. So they want the Shiva as their first default. Why? Because they want to be in par or greater than the men. Now they are also extremely going to the other end of the pendulum. Or in more scientific societies, the women wants to compete in careers to be paid as much or more than the men. They're fighting for that, equality, gender equality, and so forth. Because in those societies, women are not supposed to be secondary in importance. They're supposed to be in par or competing with the men. So all these movements, whether it's a FICCI, women's movement, or American or Germans, it has to it has to be something about the Trinity. Now let me give you an example. The relationship between anxiety, fear, worries, and resentments are related to power. Who has more anxieties and worries? People who are loving or people who are strong? Who has more anxieties? Who has more fear and worries? Loving people, whether you're a man or woman. So there's a predisposed significant relationship, inversely proportional, that when you have a lot of love and you decrease your power, you increase your fear, you increase your worries, you increase your predisposed tendency for anxieties and emotional sensitivity. So there is a relationship between sensitivity, stress tolerance, fatigue tolerance, depression, and power. If you increase power, anxiety, fear, and worries goes down. Therefore, my conclusion by studying people around the world, not only women but men as well, that the antidote to a lot of stress, fear, anxieties, worries, resentments, sensitivities are not love and intelligence. It's about power. So if you have a technique to increase your will and power, you decrease many of our struggles and sufferings due to anxiety, worry, emotionalism, depression, and sensitivity. That's an equation that is so, I would say, accurate. But most people do not see it, because when you have a lot of problems, they tell you you have to have more love. It's not true. Love is not enough if you do not balance your power and your mind. In fact, the victim profile is when you have a lot of love, without power, people tend to victimize you. Agree or not agree? Yes. Who are more victimized? The loving people or the strong people? Loving. The formula is, if you're very loving and sweet, and you do not know how to say no, and you do not want to defend yourself and fight for your rights, people will always victimize you. Even the driver, even a normal person in the street will victimize a PhD with a good heart. If there's no power to say, hey, don't do that to me, you're hurting me, or you're not respecting me. If you just smile at them, they will not know what's the difference between wrong and right. If you do not express that, don't do that to me, or you will see my lawyer. In America, they usually use the lawyer. Don't do this to me, and the child will call 911. My mom is beating me. Because 911 is power. It's just a number, but it's the power of the government. And sometimes they abuse it. Okay. So there's a relationship of many diseases. Diabetes in particular. Now, India is a hometown of diabetics. 52 million of them. Is the capital center for diabetes in the world. Now, if you look at diabetes, a lot of them has to do with emotional bitterness, of course, aside from sugar. It's about regulating your emotions and stress, your resentment,